Why do Democrats hate the SAVE Act so much? Why are they calling it Jim Crow 2.0? It doesn't make sense. Voter ID to vote should be common sense legislation. In Somalia, they just instituted the same laws. You now need to prove you're a citizen of Somalia to vote in their elections, but not in America. Why is this such a big deal? I don't know. But Scott Jennings here on CNN makes some good points because the Democrats have an argument, and you're about to hear them here, and Scott Jennings refused them, calling them out on the hypocrisy. Watch.
What voting rights is he taking away from black voters?
Oh, if we look at
the SAVE Act?
The SAVE Act, that's exactly what we're talking about. That is actually going to continue to disenfranchise overwhelmingly a lot of people of color. There are so many civil rights organizations that have run the data. If we look at the way that it is going to disenfranchise black voters, it's the same reason why Chuck Schumer called it Jim Crow 2.0.
So,
this is the same president. If we want to continue...
You haven't said how yet.
I am talking about it. It's the way that you're putting new poll taxes on this when you're making people have... That's what we can call them now. It's kind of an idiom, right? If you want to say that people have to prove that they are citizens, that they have to prove with a voter ID, the reality is you're layering what is a constitutional right for the American people and making it harder for people to vote in this country, and it's going to disenfranchise black voters.
Concern you that you're making all these claims? You've yet to lay out how it's hurting anyone, but 76% of black voters think we should show an ID to vote. 80% of Hispanic voters, 83% of the American people. Are you saying that black voters are too dumb to know what's good for them? I mean, it sounds pretty condescending to me.
That's not
You get three-quarters of black voters.
That's not.
But is that what they're saying? Are they saying that minority voters, that brown and black voters are too dumb to figure out how to vote, how to get an ID, how to prove that they're a citizen, how to get their birth certificate? I'm Puerto Rican. I have my birth certificate. I have an ID. Not that hard. It's common sense legislation to prove that you're a citizen in the country of which you are voting in. And I would argue that this is also racist from the Democrats' point of view to say that brown and black people aren't smart enough to figure out how to vote with an ID or to get their birth certificate. Like, what exactly are they insinuating here? But let's continue.
They want voter ID.
Just to be clear, the SAVE Act is not just about IDs. The SAVE Act is about proof of citizenship.
So what?
So it doesn't.
It also makes it very hard for married women who've changed
I was just going to say, we talked about this before. It's not. It actually, there's an argument to be made that red state voters, women, poor white voters could be just as...
I know, you think they're dumb too, don't you?
Young
I mean,
voters.
that's the thing. I hear these arguments. I've heard Democrats all week long.
No, please don't. No, you listen.
There's the deflection from talking about Donald Trump's racism.
I'm actually
right there.
You should be thinking about your constituents or your
I think they're smart enough to figure out how to register to vote, Abby.
Hold on. Most Americans don't have a passport. Many Americans don't have access to their birth certificate.
You can go online and order your birth certificate. Just saying.
Their names for marriage have to provide additional proof that they've changed their legal names in order to register to vote.
I have heard Democrats make these same arguments.
Why don't you actually respond to the substance of what I'm saying?
I am. And
as opposed to making this about something that it's not.
You're saying,
it's not just about voter ID.
Married
it's
women,
also about
black
who has
voters,
access
and rural people are too stupid to figure out how to register to vote.
No, that's not.
That is not what
Democrats have been making this argument all week. It's crazy.
That is not what she said.
That is quite literally what they're saying. That's what they're implying. They're not saying it outright, but they're saying it. An ID is required for so many things already in America. To buy alcohol, to buy tobacco, to buy guns, to go into casinos, to play mature-rated video games, to catch a flight, to catch a train, to purchase a bus ticket, to apply for Medicaid and Social Security. I think their real issue is what's tied to the SAVE Act now is that you also have to prove that you're a citizen. You do that with your birth certificate. And they're saying what if someone doesn't have their birth certificate? Well, lo and behold, I had family members that lost their birth certificate. And guess what they did? They ordered a new one. And then there's another argument to be made against what they're saying here. What they're also implying is that the people that don't have these things are maybe too lazy or don't care enough about the elections to go out and prove that they're a citizen, to get their ID, to get their birth certificate. My answer to that is the people who want to vote will go out there and do what they need to do, get the paperwork they need to get to vote. And the people who don't want to vote won't do that. And I have a feeling that that's what they're scared of. They're scared that their own voters just don't care enough about voting for them. And why should they? When Democrats don't fight for them anymore. They fight for illegal immigrants and criminals. But I don't know, maybe that's just my take. Let's continue.
Many Americans, including white people, okay, do not have their original birth certificate or access to it.
You didn't say what, you said rural.
I would love to offer the proof of this.
Yeah, because that is also relevant. It doesn't matter to me where people live.
I guess I have a little more faith in rural America and married women than you do.
Look, I don't know why you think you're making this about whether you're smart or not.
You're saying that they can't vote, that they can't figure out how to document to register to vote?
Access to documentation of proof of where you were born or proof of citizenship is an additional thing that people
because at one point black people actually weren't even allowed.
It's a barrier.
It is a barrier.
This is exactly.
Do you have your original birth certificate?
Yes.
Okay.
But at one point, black people
does
were not
everybody
even
that
allowed
you know
to
have their
birth
original
certificates
birth
in this country.
certificate?
Everybody that I know?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean,
but I know where mine is, and I know where my kids are.
There are elderly people in this country who are 80 years old, and they haven't seen their original birth certificate in decades. They would need to provide proof of citizenship.
It is not fear-mongering at all. It's not fear-mongering at all.
That's just a reality.
It's not fear-mongering at all.
Listen,
Jim Crow 2.0.
Scott,
they say that about the Georgia law, and what happened? Voter participation went up.
You won't answer why you still support it.
Keep in mind that these Democrats here are completely and entirely ignoring the fact that the majority of the American people support this legislation. They support the SAVE Act. 76% of black Americans support it. 82% of Hispanic Americans, me included, support it. 86% of Americans in general, it's most Americans, support this. And they're still trying to convince the American people, like, no, this is the problem. It's a barrier. It's Jim Crow 2.0. It's not. It's common sense legislation. And the thing is, this benefits them too. Why? Because then they can't say that we cheated. But maybe that's why. Maybe that's why they're against it. Maybe that's one of the reasons. Because if this legislation gets passed and our elections are more secure, they can't say that the election was stolen. And neither can we. It protects both sides from that argument, doesn't it? But maybe they still want that option. I don't know. What's your take? Let me know in the comments there. Let's continue.
I think it is perfectly fair, whether you think that it disproportionately affects people of color or not, to ask the question, will a majority of Americans who want to be able to vote be able to access the documents that they would need in order to prove citizenship?
But Abby, you're asking
That's
the underlying
view,
question,
but I'm saying
which is
people
impact.
have raised questions about that.
The reason that it works this way is impact. You mentioned Jim Crow 2.0.
No, I didn't.
What you just said, the words Jim Crow 2.0, so I'm going to put it right here at the moment. And that is exactly the way that Jim Crow 1.0 was born. They took laws.
Democrats were wily.
I won't finish. They took laws that were operational in the North, and they said these work on by the in the letter, but we're going to disrupt the spirit. They're going to take these laws and use them on black people in the South to disenfranchise them, and that was the effect.
Everyone, thank you very much. We will be back in just a moment.
The SAVE Act has nothing to do with Jim Crow. Jim Crow segregated races. It made it so black people had to sit in the back of buses, not drink out the same water fountains, not use the same bathrooms, and other things. The SAVE Act only requires you to have an ID and be an American citizen to vote. And again, I remind you, a third world country called Somalia just instituted that very same law. And you're telling me America is having a problem with this? There has to be a reason, right? But drop a comment down below. Let me know what you think of the SAVE Act. Do you think it should pass? Are you against it? Are you for it? Let me know. God bless you. Christ is King, and much love.